This is why I made 50 million in real estate, or this is why I bought 50 million in real estate in less than 2 years, because of what I'm going to tell you right now. Okay, so make sure you watch the whole video. You show up to these events and you're around like-minded people. Okay, you're going to be around like-minded people. So you all have pretty much going the same way. I buy apartment buildings. So this event was for apartment people, right? People who want to learn how to buy apartments, people who are busy professionals, or people who have money, who want to put money in people's projects. And listen, these conferences aren't that expensive. It's a couple $100 for your ticket, and you gotta buy your flight, and you gotta pay your hotel. You're probably not spending about $1,000, maybe $1,200. Depends how much you drink and how much you eat. Maybe $1,500. Okay, but it's definitely worth the connections that you make, especially if you're pretty active on social media. All right, so you come to these events, and the network is insane, right? You connect with people who are buying, tens of millions of real estate. You connect with people who are putting money in people's deals. So that's how you start building those relationships. At some point, if you're trying to raise money, you build a relationship with these people, and then you ask them for money, okay? Or at the same time, if you find somebody who's buying apartment buildings in your area, or whatever your plan is, they can come out and they can help you sign a loan or do whatever it is you need to help you get started, right? At the same time, you can actually join one of those conferences like their coaching program, because a lot of the times it's so inexpensive to go, because they're going to sell you a coaching program, 20, 30, 40, 50K, which I believe in mentoring. I believe in coaching. I believe 1,000% in masterminds. Okay, so if you find a coach out there or a mastermind you want to join, I recommend 110% go join it, but get some referrals first. Please get some referrals, okay? That's just the beginning, right? You can join their coaching program, or you can just go and network, right? So I'm not starting out, so I don't need to join a program, but I'm there to network. And you hang out, you have lunch, you have breakfast, you hang out at the bar, you have dinner, and it's pretty much all networking. I just had one this weekend, and my voice was almost gone. But the connections that you make are really, really, really good. So I connected with somebody who actually has 110 apartment buildings under contract, 10 minutes from where I'm sitting right now. I don't own anything in this city, and this guy lives in Miami, and he got this property under contract here. So guess what? He connected with me. I'm like, hell yeah, I'll partner with you. I'll be boots on the ground. I'll help you manage the assets. I'll bring capital to the deal, and let's get this closed. Now I'm going to be able to buy an apartment building 10 minutes from my office, and I don't have to drive or fly somewhere to do a video for you guys about an apartment building, because I'll be able to, drive 10 minutes and start doing some videos there. Or if anybody comes visit me at the office, we go check out that apartment building. So that was one connection that I made one night. Another connection that I made is another gentleman that has a conference on buying businesses and expanding and automation of your business. And he does it in Hawaii. How cool is that, right? It's going to be about 7 months from now in Hawaii. He's like, hey, come out for a week. The conference is 2 days. We'll come out, we'll be there for the conference, and we'll hang out with him 5 days later, playing golf, going out to eat, hanging out with his family. One of his neighbors is like Obama, like he's like he walks in his backyard. It's crazy. So he's showing me some pictures of where he lives. Man, these are amazing connections. Another connection that I made is with a gentleman who says, hey, he's got a lot of money, and he's like, look, I'm looking to deploy some money for escrow deposits or for risk capital. What's an escrow deposit? An escrow deposit is basically when you get a property under contract, say it's $10 million, usually you got to give 1 or 2% escrow deposit, right? Which is $100,000 to $200,000. And there's also an extension at some point, which is another $100,000 or $200,000. So imagine if you have 3 properties under contract, you're putting out a lot of money. He's like, hey, I'm willing to put some escrow deposit. You guys got some deep pockets, and you're able to get something under contract, and you don't have to put money out of your pocket, especially if you don't have it, okay? So that's pretty cool. They get a piece of the deal for doing that, right? But their money's pretty safe, because it doesn't go, well, as long as your contract's good, it doesn't go hard. What does that mean? It means that the money's refundable, okay? So it's pretty safe that he'll get his money back. But he also said, hey, look, I'll do risk capital. What is risk capital? Risk capital is basically the money that you put into a project before you buy it that you don't get back. For example, when you fly out there to walk the property, when you pay a property management company or a construction company to walk every unit and give you a rehab budget, they're not going to do that for free, right? They're going to spend a week there. Walk into your 400 unit apartment building, they're not going to do it for free. They might charge you 8 grand, 10 grand, 15 grand. That's a fee, right? And if you use them to do the remodel, they'll waive that fee. But if you don't use them or you don't buy the building, guess what? You're out your 10 grand, all right? Another thing, another risk capital you don't get back is for your lender, right? You give them a good faith deposit, 10,000, 20,000, whatever the fee is. What the lender does with that money is they order a phase 1 environmental inspection. They order an appraisal. They order maybe a building inspection, right? Whatever it is that they order, that costs money, 5,000, 10,000, right? So they use that money to pay for those inspections. If you don't buy the building, guess what? You lost your money. Another risk capital is when you pay your attorneys to draw up your paperwork, your PPM, your private placement memorandum, which is what you need to go raise money for that property, right? It can cost you 5,000, 8,000, 15,000, 20,000, depends how complex that particular PPM is. So just right there, you spend 50,000, 80,000, 100,000, right? It could be more than that. And he's like, hey, I'm willing to put that money up, risk capital, and I want a piece of the deal, right? So that is pretty cool because it saves money from my pocket so I can do 3 or 4 or 5 deals at a time. If I'm doing 5 deals at a time, I'm not, putting 50K in every deal that I just risked $250,000 of my money, or I put in $500,000 or $1 million of my money in escrow deposits. Then when I go to the bank to get a loan, they're like, where's your money? I'm like, oh, it's stuck all these properties. Then I'm not liquid, right? Then you don't have as much money in the bank, and your buying power, your lendability just really, really shrinks because there's no money in your bank account. So very important. You make just make super cool connections. Not just that, but you make friends, you create friendships, you meet people that are in your area that you didn't even know. So now when you're gonna go hang out, instead of hanging out with your loser friends, you go hang out. Well, you guys don't have loser friends. Well, I don't have loser friends too, but for when you used to have your loser friends, right? Instead of doing that, you need to go hang out with people who are aligned and they have the same goals as you. So you're going to grow quicker together, right? They've already have some connections. You start connecting with them. So there's 100 reasons why you want to go to these conferences. $1,500 you spend on one of these conferences. It's dirt cheap for the amount of return you're going to get if you go network. Don't go network and don't just sit there in the room and then go to your room. Don't talk to anybody. Don't do that. You're going to waste your time, right? Show up, network, talk to people. People are going to come talk to you. And it's okay if you don't know anything. Just be like, hey, I'm brand new. It's my first event. I'm just soaking everything in. What do you do? Right? It's simple as that, right? Simple as that. And they start telling you what they do, right? Everybody's always going to ask you if you're a GP or an LP. A GP, it means you're a general partner. That means you're part of a project, or a KP, a key principal. Maybe you sign a loan. LP is a limited partner. Basically means you're an investor. You put money in deals. You're a passive investor. You're just hands off. You put 50K, 100K, and you just wait for your return. You don't operate the building. So they're going to ask for that, right? And that's what you want to ask as well. Hey, what do you do, right? And they'll let you know, like, hey, I'm a general partner. I have 200 apartment buildings or 20,000 apartment buildings. Okay, great. Well, where do you buy? Okay, great. And then you start having that conversation. May I have your business card? Great. You give them your business card. Or you share your contact information from your phone. I don't have a business card. I like to just share my contact from my phone, and I'll be like, hey, what's your phone number? I'll text you my contact. Boom, 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 boom. I text you my contact, and I have your number on my phone. Just don't forget their name, because most of the time sometimes they forget to text you back, and then you're chasing later for their name. Or grab the business card and take a picture of it and text it to them as well. And now you have who they were on your phone right away. What do you do after these events, right? You get all these business cards, you meet all these contacts, you're ready to take over the world. Your mind is just overwhelmed with information. You're super excited, okay? What do you do with these contacts? You bring these contacts back, you organize them, you put them in a CRM, like a MailChimp or a Constant Contact, some kind of email software platform. A lot of them are free up to a certain amount of contacts. You put them in there and you send an email. Hey, it was great meeting you at so-and-so conference. Let me know if there's anything I can do for you. I'm in the LA area, or I'm in the Raleigh, North Carolina area, or I'm in whatever. Is there, whatever it is, right? You start sending them emails every month, kind of just giving updates of what you're doing. You stay top of mind but when you have a project and you might need some money, or you might need a partner, they don't forget about you, right? If you never send them an email, 9 months later you get a deal, like, who is this guy? Who is this girl? Like, who is it? They're not going to remember, okay? Because they talk to so many people. But if you're top of mind because you send an email every month, and this doesn't take a lot of time, just simple email of what you got going on, you just want to say hi, and you're top of mind, and eventually you will have a project, and it'll be easy for you to start grabbing some partners or getting some partners for your particular deal. Not just go to one conference. If you can go to a conference a month, that'd be amazing. Now that's like 20 grand a year, probably going to cost. But if you're in the West Coast, if you're in Florida, these conferences, if you're in Texas, happen all the time in your big cities, all the time. You might not even have to travel anywhere. But ideally, you want to search for conferences if you want to buy apartments that people are doing that buy apartment buildings. How do you do that? Just go on Facebook. Look for multifamily. Just type in multifamily for groups. Join as many as you can. And usually you'll see some ads coming up of where these events are going to be. Or you start seeing it on your Facebook feed because the algorithm picks it up. And Facebook will start feeding you some paid advertisements from these people who sell their coaching program and have these conferences. There's a couple of conferences out there that don't let you network outside. But, you know, there's a lot of these conferences that let people network outside, especially the ones who have some experience, you know, because they're there to sell a coaching program. They don't want everybody outside speaking. But, you know, at the same time, you know, the people who have experience don't want to be in there with people who are just, you know, one-on-one real estate, right? They want to be out there networking. That's why they're so important. So it works well for both sides, people who want to network, and for those coaches that want to sell the program. Just go sit in one of these inside, learn the basics, and then go in the network in the afternoons. After you learn the basics, just go out and network. These conferences will make you a lot of money, make you a lot of connections. I got the connection for buying a property here right down the street. I got another connection to buy a property in Dallas, okay, and possibly buy another property in Georgia. So great connections. Don't forget to network. Go to these events, and I hope I see you there.